Every secret America has been hiding for 100 years. You think you know America. You've seen the flag. You've heard the speeches. You learned the history in school. The Founding Fathers, the Civil War, the moon landing, the wars won and lost in the name of freedom. It's a story you've been told so many times it feels like fact. But here's the thing about stories. Every story has a version the teller wants you to hear. And then there's the version they hope you never find out about. What you're about to hear isn't speculation. It isn't conspiracy theory. Every single thing in this video has been confirmed by official government documents, congressional investigations, or declassified files. In the late 1940s, as the Cold War was beginning to reshape the world, the CIA made a decision. The American public needed to be managed. Not informed, managed. Operation Mockingbird was the program built to do exactly that. More than 400 American journalists, working for major newspapers, television networks, wire services, and magazines, were secretly recruited as CIA assets. Their job wasn't to report the news. Their job was to shape it. Stories favorable to CIA interests were planted. Stories unfavorable to those interests were killed before they reached print. Public opinion wasn't discovered, it was manufactured. When the Church Committee finally exposed it in 1975, the CIA's official response was that Mockingbird had been scaled back, not ended, not dismantled, scaled back. If it was scaled back in 1975, what was it scaled forward into? While the CIA was controlling what Americans read, it was also running experiments on what Americans thought and felt and remembered. MKUltra began in 1953. It was a CIA program with one stated goal: find a reliable method of mind control. The methods used were not theoretical. They were tested on real human beings: prisoners, psychiatric patients, soldiers, and ordinary civilians who had no idea they were being used as laboratory subjects. LSD was administered without consent. Subjects were kept awake for days at a time. Electroshock therapy was applied at levels specifically designed to destroy memory. When MKUltra was finally exposed in 1977, the Senate discovered that the majority of the program's records had already been deliberately destroyed. And here is the detail that should stop you cold. Portions of MKUltra remain classified to this day. The CIA was not the only branch of the United States government running experiments on its own people. For 40 years, the United States Public Health Service watched a disease kill hundreds of men and did nothing, on purpose. In 1932, the PHS launched a study in Tuskegee, Alabama. 499 men with syphilis were enrolled. They were told they were receiving treatment for bad blood. They were not. When penicillin became the standard cure for syphilis in the 1940s, the men were not given it. The study continued until 1972, 40 years. By the time a whistleblower leaked the story to the press, 28 men had died directly from syphilis. 100 others had died from related complications. The United States government had watched every single death, documented it, filed it, and continued the study. The formal presidential apology came in 1997, 65 years after it began. Some secrets are about what the government did quietly. Others are about what it came close to doing openly, and only stopped because one person said no. In 1962, the Joint Chiefs of Staff presented President Kennedy with a document called Operation Northwoods. It proposed shooting down an American aircraft and blaming Cuba, sinking a boat carrying Cuban refugees, staging terrorist attacks in Miami and Washington, kill American civilians, and frame a foreign government for their deaths as a pretext for war. The plan was signed by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and presented to the president as a serious military option. Kennedy rejected it. He was assassinated the following year. The question they leave behind: how many similar plans were proposed, approved, and carried out in years when the president said yes? While the military was drafting plans to fake attacks, the FBI was waging a very real war against Americans it had decided were enemies. COINTELPRO, counterintelligence program, ran from 1956 to 1971. Its targets were not foreign spies. They were American citizens. Martin Luther King Jr. was surveilled for years. His phones were tapped, his associates were monitored. In 1964, the FBI sent him a letter that suggested in barely disguised language that he should take his own life. The man who received the Nobel Peace Prize that year had been sent what amounted to a threat letter from his own government. COINTELPRO was exposed when activists physically broke into an FBI field office in Pennsylvania in 1971 and stole thousands of documents. The secret program designed to stop people from breaking the law was itself operating entirely outside it. Not every secret involves what the government did in the shadows. Some involve what it said in broad daylight, and knew to be false. On August 2, 1964, the USS Maddox reported an attack by North Vietnamese torpedo boats in the Gulf of Tonkin. Congress passed the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, giving President Johnson virtually unlimited authority to escalate military involvement in Vietnam. The resolution passed 416-0 in the House and 88-2 in the Senate. The second attack almost certainly never happened. The war was authorized on the basis of an event the administration had significant reasons to doubt was real. The Pentagon Papers confirmed the government had systematically lied to the American public about the war for years. By then, most of the 58,000 were already dead. In the 1980s, the Reagan administration discovered that congressional oversight was inconvenient, so it found a way around it. The Iran-Contra affair revealed that senior administration officials had secretly sold weapons to Iran, a country under an American arms embargo, and used the proceeds to fund the Contras in Nicaragua, in direct violation of a law passed by Congress. When the operation was exposed, 11 administration officials were convicted. Most had their convictions overturned on technicalities. The lesson the scandal taught was not that such operations would be stopped. It was that they needed to be better hidden. By 2013, hiding things had become significantly easier, because the tools being used to do it were the same tools Americans use to communicate every single day. Edward Snowden was an NSA contractor who walked out of a facility in Hawaii with 4 laptops and classified documents that would reshape the world. The NSA had been collecting the phone records of virtually every American citizen. It had access to the servers of Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft through a program called PRISM. The government's response was not to acknowledge the program had gone too far. It was to charge Snowden under the Espionage Act and revoke his passport mid-flight. In 2020, a federal court ruled that the surveillance program he exposed was unconstitutional, 7 years after the leak. And then there are the files that haven't been opened yet. The assassination of President Kennedy took place on November 22, 1963, more than 60 years ago. In 1992, Congress passed a law requiring the full release of all government documents related to the assassination by October 2017. That deadline passed. Documents were withheld, new deadlines were set, more documents were withheld. As of today, thousands of pages related to the Kennedy assassination remain classified. The official reason given is national security, 60 years after the event. Here is what every secret on this list has in common. None of them were discovered through transparency. None of them were voluntarily disclosed. Every single one came out because someone broke a rule, stole documents, leaked files, defied orders, walked into a congressional hearing, and told the truth anyway. The secrets you know about exist only because someone paid a price to tell you. The secrets you don't know about are still being kept by people who have calculated that the price of secrecy is worth paying. There are programs running today with names that have never appeared in a headline. The secrets that eventually came out were not the exception. They were just the ones that got caught. The question worth asking is not what America has been hiding. The question is what it is hiding right now, in the places we haven't looked yet. If this changed how you see things, hit like and subscribe. More untold stories every week.